I bought this Mark 7 GTI for $3,000. It's in pretty rough shape, so let's go check it out and see what the condition is. This car was on Facebook Marketplace, and in good condition, this car is worth about 10 grand. Since I love buying junk cars, 900 people tagged me in this post, and I purchased the car. Now this car has a push button start, and the most interesting thing is that it said it needs an engine, but it starts. But it dies. Now when I came to pick up this car needing an engine, I assumed it wouldn't run at all. Because it starts and stalls, it's possible that there's something else going on and an engine isn't required. Fingers crossed we can fix it without replacing the engine. So the first thing before really going into depth as to what's going on, you'll notice it looks like it's been sitting under a tree for many months because, well, it has. The other thing you'll notice is that there are arachnids, ants and such creatures all over the car. Because when you leave a car sitting for 8 months, under a tree, they can make nests in it. Oh, right away! Ah! Our front emblem is missing an eye. Our whole front emblem is missing here. This bumper right here is not quite on all the way. These are not the wheels that came on the car, and they're a little bit chewed up. I got tuner lugs too. Don't do these, please. Please don't do tuner lugs in your car. It's got a flat because I've owned this car for months and haven't done anything with it. Things haven't been going well with other projects. We got a little taillight issue right here. Don't worry about that. Let's check out the trunk. Who knows where that red stain's from? Maybe he dressed a deer in this trunk. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, what is that? It looks like he sanded the R32 in this trunk. So the overwhelming problem with the interior of this car is it is quite dirty. The cup holder is probably the most mortifying cup holder I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know what's going on there. It looks like they're attempting to line the inside of their cup holder with dog hair and then mat it down to ensure it seals really great inside of there. Also, there's ants inside the car, so I'm very uncomfortable even sitting here right now. If it were not for this video that we were making, I wouldn't even be sitting in the car right now. It looks like a whole dog's been left behind in the back seat. You could make a fake dog with the amount of dog hair that's left behind from a real dog. My guess is that they had a husky. What do we got here? Oh, hey,
What is it?
a fire extinguisher. At least there's a fire extinguisher to go with it, not a pickle jar that probably was used for pissing on the side of the road, like the GLI had. Passenger door, there's ignition coils. These are the ignition coils I specifically tell people not to buy. Cheap aftermarket ignition coils that never fix cars and always cause misfires, which is probably why they're out of the car now. Oh, the door check isn't even attached.
I know.
There's no door check.
Look at how extended this door is.
Yeah, it goes out all the way. There is damage to this fender, probably because of that. It looks like it's buckled this fender a little bit because they probably opened the door too far. Oh, they definitely have locked themselves out of this car. This is the R32 taught me this. The telltale sign as I locked my keys out of my car is they damaged all the paint on the door jamb. This car, because it stalls, I'm gonna have to send it straight in. Okay.
Good job.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be out of that car. The coolant light came on, but I wasn't sure if it had a bad bottle or whatever. It does appear to be quite empty. Don't worry about coolant systems. Yeah. You know what else we should check? Yeah. Okay, look at that. It's got oil. Oh, we got some mismatched ignition coils. This is actually the most curious situation. There's a silicone hose that's just tightened down around with a clamp. It's not supposed to look like that. The downpipe is wrapped. It's heat wrapped actually pretty nicely, as a matter of fact. The downpipe actually looks quite nicely wrapped. We have an engine with no coolant in it. In case you didn't know, if you run an engine with no coolant in it, could blow it up. I can already see one thing that's kind of an interesting fact, and it's with this tire here. This tire is an absolute drag slick. If you look here, this used to have tread. That one looks like that, and this one looks like this. So that's confusing. What is that? Oh, it's oil. Okay, well, so there is initially an indication that there could be a problem with a large oil leak of some kind. Yeah, so this car has got springs on it. You can see right here, because they're blue. They're probably H&R would be my guess. You can find H&R springs at shopdap.com. Buy them. They can lower your car. Look at that. I was right. H&R springs. Buy them. Shopdap.com. Lowers your car. Oh, that was run home. Okay. Oh, there's a tool. What kind of tool do we get? Looks like Snap-on maybe. It's covered in oil, that's for sure. Oh, it's a little screwdriver. Ooh,
you needed one of those.
I need a little screwdriver.
You needed one.
Look at that. I am a tool, I got a tool. Right here, this tool will help me right here in releasing this. There we go. Oh, another tool. I got 2 tools. 11. What are you doing with an 11 under the hood of a car? The only 11s are brake bleeders on this car. That's the only 11. I don't even know what. Were you bleeding the brakes under there? This leak is quite a large one, but after looking over it, it doesn't appear as though it's a big deal. From the oil pan or the oil pan gasket, you can get a steel pan, shopdap.com, or a $3,000 Mark 7. You want to buy it? Buy it, shopdap.com. It comes with free hands. So if we look at the wheel weights in the back here, you don't put wheel weights somewhere randomly on the wheel. You put them on the edge. That's how they're supposed to be stuck, on the inside edge and the outside edge. They stack them on top of each other, which is also something you're not supposed to do. Is just keep stacking them up like a building, like you're playing with Lincoln logs until the wheel bounces. So one nice addition to this car is it has TTS brakes like we had on the All-Track back in the day. These have an R on them, but I think that's just a sticker that somebody put on because they were probably previously on a Golf R, and then they ended up making their way to this vehicle. Now we're gonna scan this car with our OBD11 and see what we got going on. We're gonna scan all the control units. This one doesn't even say Hellboy like our last Mark 7. I never changed it, so the Jetta still says Hellboy when you scan it. Really? Because I love it. I'll leave it there forever. Okay, 21 faults found. Let's start with the engine. Cam crank correlation fault. That one's concerning. Camshaft position range performance. So we probably have a timing related issue. Camshafts are a common problem on these. It's possible the camshaft, the adjuster's like wigged out. Front passenger exterior door handle touch sensor open circuit. Okay, that doesn't matter. I bet you they put non-Kessie door handles on this car. So if you look at this door handle, this is a Kessie door handle. See that little notch there? That's where you touch and it's touch sensitive, so it knows when you're locking your car. So if you want to touch it there and your key is in your pocket, it will lock the car. If you look, this door that's been replaced and has the wrong door panel on it doesn't have that there. The one with a check rod that doesn't attach. And by the way, these Kessie door handles are expensive. Unpainted, they're like, I think $350 or $400 per handle. I was not aware of that, but if you look here, the core support is broken, which is why this headlight bracket's bent. So right there, you can see, that makes sense why the grill doesn't fit right. Now I was gonna start by diagnosing the car, but first, because of the ant problem, we had to put some ant traps inside, and I committed an ant jeticide, an ant mass grave in the passenger floorboard. TBH, every time you sit in this car, you start to feel itchy almost immediately. So what I'm gonna do is vacuum it, get rid of the ant genocide, hopefully get rid of some of the itchy feeling, and then I can work inside for just like at least a little bit. Oh, this is gonna be gross. Okay, there you go. There's a seat bolt missing. I can already tell you right now, this carpet's gonna have to come out of this car. This thing is so filled with stuff. I mean, at minimum, all the seats, center console, all the stuff's gonna have to come out. And it's so many pennies. I was trying to figure out how to do all this change, but I really don't want it because it's really yucky. I guess we don't have to worry about putting that back in the car because it's already snapped apart.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, brother. Breaker, breaker. When they say breaker, breaker, they didn't mean break all your center console pieces. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I'm taking all of this apart. It's because this car had faults for the button. And we have this button from the Jetta. So we're gonna give it the old swap-a-roo to see if it improves our starting issue. By the way, I'm like 90% sure it's not going to, but the fact that it had faults and we have a good one means we can fix it. Watch this, it's gonna start and run forever now. See? One fault down, 21 left to go. Now we're gonna check timing. So the issue this car had, timing faults. Behind here is all the cam chains. We're gonna pull this off, check our base timing to verify that the engine is in time. Came off a little odd. I wonder if it was clipped in all the way. I'm gonna go try to start the car just to see. Okay, it's fine. All right, false alarm, don't worry. Don't worry, it wasn't the fact that that was loosely plugged in. We're gonna keep going. So these bolts were pretty loose. They also are one-time use, and they're aluminum, so they like will snap off if you try to use them again, so that may be why they got reused. Also, by the way, if you wanna know about timing stuff for Mark 7s, I made a whole video talking about it. It's on the internet. Oop, oop. Oh boy, that's exciting. As soon as we got the cam magnet of the car off, I identified a problem with the spool valve. That little button that's popped out, that's not supposed to be popped out like that. This is an engine you may have seen in the past here. We have it as a display, and I wonder if this has a control valve in it that we can just chuck in here and test. No, so this part has about 700 supersessions. So what I have to do is search the part number of this one in our site to verify it supersedes to the other one. You can go to shopdap.com and search them. We have all the old versions linked because also like camshaft changes, it's very complicated. You can see here is all the part numbers. Okay, so 06L109257B is the one that's in the car, and then the one that's in that engine is 06K109257A. So we're good.
Ooh.
We gotta go to the tool though. So we have the correct tool link there also in our search. Also, if you search the right part number, you can see the tool also lists each one because like the pins on them are all different. So you see like those pins are in different places on every one, but if you scroll down, boom, there's all the ones it works for. Shopdap.com, you can find them.
Well,
buy one.
Site's looking pretty
this
good.
site's got a lot of information. It's really useful, isn't it?
You're tightening it?
Yeah, it's reverse thread.
Oh. I'm glad you know it's reverse thread.
Yep.
How'd you know that?
Well, because shopdap.com, we have that information that these are reverse thread.
This engine has been robbed of every part.
We do steal for both customer cars and personal cars. This engine has been stolen with many items, this display engine. Hopefully, nobody robbed the spool valve and put a bad one back in the engine. Because that would really be a 1-2 combo. Okay, so this is the old one out of the car. This is the one that came out of that display engine. You can see the button that's popped out. That's how you know it's broken, is because it's popped. The magnet pushes in and out to make the oil flow in these different holes. But if it pops out like that, it can't function anymore. Is the camshaft bad? Maybe. But are we gonna put this in and see if the car will start and run? You bet your ass we are. I think this is gonna fix the car. I'm like 70 to 80%. It might need a cam in addition, but I don't think it's gonna need chains. You hear that? Woo! Ric Flair lives local to us, by the way. He's out with hookers all the time at clubs in the Charlotte area. This car is fixed. Imagine that. Doesn't need an engine, just needed that spool valve. So this car is the dream scenario, not exactly the condition of the car, but this situation of the fixing a car for cheap that was supposed to need something very expensive, spool valve that I got for free out of an engine that we steal parts off of all the time. I don't want to speak too soon, but this is our first project that we bought a shitty car that's gone real well so far. The ants are dead, the car runs. It's still pretty gross, but in case you saw me celebrate the engine starting, what we shouldn't celebrate is the fact you can't close the hood without doing that. It's a powerful close because the core support being broken causes some problems.